Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwaychuk, and the focus of today's intermittent reinforcement email is on thinking flexibly and making precise evaluations. REBT is, in many ways, encouraging you to adopt flexible attitudes and make precise evaluations of badness, of the discomfort and the things that you will have to bear when things don't go your way, and precise evaluations about your behavior and your characteristics, others' behavior and characteristics, and life itself. Albert Ellis imported from general semantics theory the idea that our language has a profound impact upon our emotions. Alfred Korzybski, the originator of general semantics theory, often said that the map is not the territory. Just as physical territories very often are traded between nations and new maps have to be written because the map is not the territory, our language is a map of sorts. And what we're arguing in REBT is that it's very important for us to be aware that our language is a tool, a map, and that the characteristics of that map will have an impact upon our functioning. So in today's intermittent email, I'm talking a little bit about the characteristic of precise evaluations and how it's very important that we discipline our minds to precisely evaluate events and things that block us. So, for example, if I said to you, I really want to achieve my goal, but I don't have to, I have expressed a flexible idea and also in that attitude negated my demand that I have to achieve it. But more importantly, this will lead to precise evaluations because without the demand that I have to achieve my goal, I'm more likely to acknowledge that it's bad that I didn't achieve my goal, but it's not awful or terrible or the end of the world. Seeing my failure to achieve my goal is a precise evaluation of a bad set of circumstances. Likewise, if I say, I want to achieve my goal, but I don't have to, then I may also think in a precise way about the feelings I experience when I don't achieve my goal. I might say, it's uncomfortable, the feelings I experience when I do not achieve my goals, but those feelings are things I can bear. They're not unbearable. So again, we see an example of precise evaluation of the feelings that we experience. Or I might say, the deprivation of pleasure that I experience is uncomfortable. No one likes deprivation of pleasure, but deprivation is not unbearable. So again, we see a precise evaluation of the deprivation, the external set of circumstances, or the state, I guess we could say, that I find myself now in. That state is uncomfortable, but not unbearable. And of course, if I said, well, I want to achieve my goal, but I don't have to, then I will acknowledge that I failed in my pursuit of a particular goal, but I'm prone to make a precise evaluation and acknowledge that that failure does not define me as a failure, doesn't make me a failure as a person. Again, we see the influence of general semantics in this, because Alfred Korzybski and his followers in the general semantics theory and movement would argue that the verb to be leads to overgeneralize. And so if you notice, I said I failed, but it doesn't make me or define me a failure. When we use the verb to be, I might say I failed and I am therefore a failure, and I would be overgeneralizing and probably creating depression or a state of despair. So in today's intermittent reinforcement email, I would encourage you to think about adopting the goal of being quite precise in your evaluations of badness, of the bearability of events and feelings, and on the relationship, a precise evaluation of the relationship between a particular performance and the person who did the performance. Yes, the performance may be bad, but the person themselves are not a bad person. I hope this email raises your awareness as to how important it is to think in a precise way. Now, we have the capacity to think precisely, but it's much easier to think imprecisely. We have this dual nature. And I would encourage you to monitor your behavior, your feelings, and when you see your reactions as impairing you, or defeating you in some way, or unhealthy, whether they be feelings or behaviors, that you take a step back and take a look at your thinking and see if you're engaging in either rigid or extreme evaluations. You might be saying, well, I have to succeed, and then following that with extreme evaluations of badness, like it would be awful not to succeed. Or it's unbearable if you have an interruption in the middle of your filming of your video. Of course, it's uncomfortable, but not unbearable to be interrupted. It's bad, not awful. And although my effort to make a really good video might have failed, it certainly doesn't make me a failure. So good luck with your attempt to discipline your mind. I challenge you to do so. By doing so, you will find you have healthier emotions, reactions, and behavioral reactions, and may very well experience greater life satisfaction, and this could very well help you lead a meaningful life. Thank you for listening.